Alright, so I thought I would make a video on me basically writing a rough, I call it an outline of where I wanted to take my book. So let's just, what I did was I basically created 12 topics, 12 chapters that I want to write about. I had 15 or 16 originally, but I want to keep it short and simple so a guy can actually navigate through all this stuff. So the dove represents wisdom, and that's the first creature that Scotty meets. I should put the character Scotty the Scarecrow. The egg represents the idea. So whenever you start writing a book and you have an idea, it could even be just before an idea. Um, you might not have anything. You could be just, hey, shh. You could be just sitting down, staring at a blank sheet of paper. And then once you start writing, all of a sudden an idea forms, and that's the egg. So the egg is something that you want to nurture and protect it, because there are birds like the vulture that will try and steal your egg. So that's the vulture, represents self-doubt, tries to talk you out of writing a book, self-explanatory. The owl is endless research, knowledge, trying to convince you that you need to do more research, you need to know more about your subject. And some of it is true, but that's all an owl does. Pelican represents structure, like your map or your blueprint. Basically, if you don't have any structure, it's going to be very difficult to finish your book, let alone write it. Bat represents procrastination, even though a bat isn't a bird. It's a mammal, it's an animal. I still like the idea of a bat because everybody thinks of bats when they sleep and all that, but anyways, that's what the bat is for now. Hummingbird, oh, I didn't put that down, but basically a hummingbird has too many things going on. I could put busyness or something. I have to think of a title for that, but hummingbird basically represents too many projects and never getting anything done. So almost like you're expert of everything and a master of none, that kind of thing. Crow represents your peers. I changed that. I used to call it direction, but it's more peers. So kind of fits with Scotty the Scarecrow, because every time he tries to write, the crows show up and laugh at him. They sit on the fence and they bug him and all that kind of stuff. Those type of friends. Raven represents logic. It makes no business sense for these people to ever write a book, so they don't understand why people would sit down and waste time writing a book. So they always try and talk people out of it. So that's the raven. The woodpecker is writer's block. Pretty self-explanatory. Woodpecker represents a person or the thought process where you just have no idea. You have nothing. It's blank. And the eagle represents the encourager or mentor. This is the person that always says the right thing and encourages you to finish your book. The chicken hawk, of course, is the finished book. So, so that's when the chicken hawk shows up, is right when your book is finished. So there you go. So that's a little bit of my breakdown.